Good afternoon. Happy Sunday, wherever you are. Let me go ahead and do a quick introduction. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Landa. My name is Barbara Ragsdale, and I'm an independent demonstrator that lives in the San Antonio, Texas area. So thank you for joining me this afternoon. Hi, Cindy. I was having a little bit of difficulty because it's not a very bright day out there today. And I've got lots of lights here to help illuminate what I'm doing, but I kept flipping the camera and trying to get the lighting on me right. Hi, Denise. And so, yeah, this is as good as it's going to get today. I know, it's 3 o'clock already. And if you think about it, January, I don't even know what day it is, but January's almost over, you guys. Oh my goodness. Just seemed like New Year's Eve, not just, what, 3 weeks ago? But I guess that is true. It was 3 weeks ago. So, but thank you all for joining me this afternoon. For those of you that are watching either for the first time or watching the replay, thank you for joining me. And I am here every Sunday afternoon to show you how to use Stampin' Up! Supplies in order to make, hi Landa. Ooh, yeah, it was raining here yesterday and then this morning, so, but not thunderstormy, but I actually love the thunderstorms because it's perfect to be inside crafting. So, but we are a paper crafting company, and we specialize in color coordination. So if you struggle with that and you need help coordinating your papers to your cardstock, to your ribbon, to your ink, the whole 9 yards, that's what demonstrators are here to show you how to use the products. So let's see, what else? Everything else I'll show you when I get the camera pointed down, but I do want to welcome you to this afternoon's video, and we're going to be doing something different. Hey Jessica, it's my cousin Jessica from Ohio. We're going to be doing something really different today, and y'all know me, I like to mix it up. Hey Robin, glad you could make it. So you know me, you guys, I like to mix it up. Sometimes I'll do cards. Sometimes I'll do a little home decor project, and today I have had underneath this desk for the longest time. I mean, seriously, the longest time. It's moved with me the last 2 moves, and I keep unboxing it and putting it away, but have never done anything with it. So, and let me give you an idea. Let's see if I can get it without making a mess. There's a bigger box down here, but I don't know if you know what this is, and I know the lighting's kind of off today, but these are 4x4 travertine tiles, because I came across something about a week ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, I think it was a sign that I had these tiles sitting here in front of me, but I don't know if you ever stamped on tiles before, but that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to do a really cute little Valentine's gift project, and we're going to stamp on tiles. So I'm going to show you the products that you'll need in order to do that and pull it off, and then I'm going to show you what happens when you don't use the right products on a travertine tile. So let's go ahead and get this thing pointed down. Hey Stella. Okay, let me move some of this. Let's see. Let's get some prizes. Let me open this up, and let's get this prize out of the way. Oops, I didn't mean to, okay. I didn't mean to pretend like I was going to spin it. I'm glad it didn't start spinning. So if you remember last week, we did the Hello Dear Friend kit. I made one of each, and I put everything in a large envelope. But remember, there was these 2 little smaller little note cards that had coordinating envelopes, little 2 envelopes. And then we did the larger ones that also have the coordinating envelopes. So I'm going to be giving away a set, but I'm not going to give the whole set to one person. I'm gonna mix it up today, and I'm gonna do 2 drawings. So let me get my pen. That way I can write this off to the side. So we're gonna be doing 2 drawings. Hi, Carolyn. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And if you are wondering, what in the heck is this woman talking about right now? Drawings. Every single week, whatever I do, I give it away. So I usually make one of something, and then I'll do a demonstration and show you how we put it together. And then when you like, comment, and share my video, you get entered into the drawing. Now, if you share, you get 2 entries. And so your name gets put on the wheel twice. So obviously your chances of winning get a little increase. So, but these are the people from last week's video. And let me go ahead and spin that. And I'm going to do it once for one large one and one small one, and then I'll do a second drawing. So let's see. Let's see who our first winner is going to be. It's Cindy Sawyer. And you know what? Look, it says share. So that means one of her shares got her one of these entries. So let me just write this down off to the side. As Cindy's one of our winners. Congratulations, Cindy. And let's go ahead and spin this again and give away 2. That way I can split this prize up. Oh, let me bring that down a little bit more. You won! You won 2 of them. I'm not sure which ones to give each one of you, but because they're all different, but let me write your name down. Just off to the side. Congratulations. You know what? That is how you win. That's how you win. You like, comment, and you share. And then I'll tally up everything and give some stuff away. So let's put this aside. Okay, now the monthly online ordering special. This is just a reminder that the January special for the free kit in the mail is going to be a kit to make all 4 of these cards. So you've got that one, and let's see if I can move this over here. And it's this one. You'll get a free kit in the mail that everything is cut and die cut for you. The only thing that's not done for you is any of the stamping or any of the blending. You have to have the stamps and the blends in order to pull it off as designed, but you even get the accessories, whatever accessories you need in order to complete the cards, you get that as well. And that is with your order of $25 or more on my website. And if you don't want to fool with plugging that in or plugging the host code in while you're watching, or if you're watching the replay, you can just go scan this QR code and it'll take you straight to my online store and plug that code in for you so that you can get this free kit in the mail. And don't forget that during the month of January's the free kit in the mail, but between January and February, if your order is $50 or more, not only do you get a free accessory from me that coordinates with the monthly kit, but we are also in our celebration promo period, which means you get to choose, for every $50, you get to choose something free out of this little mini catalog. And I know some of these things I've used already in some demonstrations, and there's even a bundle in here. And this is a $100 purchase, so you get a stamp set and a full package of 12 by 12 paper. So make sure you think about that when you're online shopping, getting whatever you need. So let's put this aside. And what else? I think that's it for now. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be making. And I might do it up just a little bit differently, but we're going to be making this. This is a little 4x4 travertine tile, and let me get my tiles back out that I put down I want to say there's like 8 of them in a package, and I think I got these at Home Depot. They're very, very inexpensive, but when you go to purchase travertine tiles, you want to make sure that whichever ones you're stamping on are mostly smooth. When you get one that has a lot of, I guess, naturalness to it, like this one right here, you've got a lot of natural little nicks from the rock or stone or whatever it is, and it makes it hard to stamp over parts like that. So that doesn't mean you can't stamp on it, because you've got a nice little smooth surface up here you could stamp something on. But to get more coverage, it just makes it harder. So you do have to go through your little packages and figure out which ones you're going to be stamping on. But I'm going to show you how to do that. So let me put this back off to the side. And show you how. Let's get started. Let's just get started. We are going to be using the Forever and Always stamp set of the month, and we're going to do that in order to stamp love and you, and then also the flowers. Now, the most important part of all of this is that you use, and you make sure that when you're stamping, you use the StazOn ink in black if you're going to be coloring it or whatever. It's very important to use StazOn. And let me show you, if you don't use StazOn, and let's say you accidentally use Memento ink, I'm going to show you what happens. Check this out. I did this last night and let it set overnight just so that you can see. It's kind of hard to tell, but both of these were done in Memento ink, and because the tile is really, really porous, it's going to bleed into it. Now, this one right here was with one of the pencils and the blending, and even then, when it was fresh, it was blending, it was just making a mess. That doesn't even look like Calypso Coral. And then the same thing over here. This was in Memento, and this is using a blend. And the blend did pretty good, but it was the ink. So you can see that is not a clear image whatsoever. So that's what's going to happen if you use Memento ink. So no, don't use Memento ink. You want to make sure you're using StazOn when you do your stamping on here. Okay, so what I have is, I have a nice clean piece of travertine tile that I can stamp on, and there's a couple of things I've got here. I didn't wet my chamois, so I've got I have my baby wipes that I'm going to use off to the side, and then I'll just show you some of the other products that I was using as I go along. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to open our StazOn, and whenever you get StazOn, you're going to see this little piece of plastic that's over it. You always want to keep it covered. This helps keep it from drying out. So when you're storing it, make sure you put this back over it, and then make sure your top is on pretty tight, that it's not loose. Okay, so let's take that off. And I've already kind of cleaned this up a little bit. I've already mounted the stamps. So we've got our photopolymer stamp. A piece of hair there. Okay. So, and if you want, you can rub it just a little bit just to make sure there's not any particles on there. And you want to ink up your stamp really, really good. I will tell you that StazOn can be sticky. So ink it up really, really good. And you can tell if you've got good coverage on there. And I'm going to show you a little trick you can use just in case it doesn't transfer right all the way. Okay, that's pretty good. Now this is going to look like it's going to stick. So I'm just going to put this right in the corner at an angle. And I'm going to give it some pressure because I want to make sure that sticks. Okay, So there you go. You can feel it. When you stamp it and you peel it off, you can feel it. Just the ink coming off of that. Okay? And then I also have you, let me adjust this a little bit because this was on crooked last night. There we go. Okay? So make sure you get you inked up really, really good. And then because you can tell where you're going to be stamping, we'll stamp it right there. Give it some pressure. Don't rock it. Okay. And now we're not done. We still have the flowers we're going to do. And I think that's what I'm going to do a little differently, because when I did this one, I used a large one and then I used a small one in the corner. But I think I want to use two large ones, kind of one side by side, to help fill up this little area right here. So we've got our flower. So let's ink that one up. And I'm sorry, you guys, I'm not looking at the comments, but I will go back and look at the comments later. And if you're joining me after I got started, thank you for joining me. I'm just making sure I got good coverage on here. And on the Stays On and Memento pads, you can feel free to press really hard to get the ink on there, because this is a, it's not the normal spongy like the normal stamp pads that we have. It's more of like a, oh, I forgot the name. It's like a, oh, I don't know. If you're a demonstrator and you're watching, you probably know right now what I'm talking about. So let's get, there we go, and just press that down. Give it some good pressure, and then pull it straight up. You'll feel it. It wants to stick, but it won't stick if you don't let it. Hold on. Okay, now I want the other image to be right to the side, but if I go to stamp over it, y'all know that image is going to overlap. So what I need to do at this point, I already cut one out, but I think I want to trim it just a little bit more. Let me trim this. Let me trim this just a little bit more. It was okay for the smaller one last night, but for this larger one, let me get, this is going to be, I know I've done this technique before, but this is a, let me get this right here. I want to try to get most of it on the top here. Let's see. I think I only need to go this far. Okay, but what you want to do is you want to stamp another image, and then you want to cut it out directly on the line, so that when you go to put it down, you're covering up that image, so that when you go to stamp over it, it doesn't overlap on the stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this one up again. Okay. It still had good ink on there from earlier, but I'm going to ink it up again. So let me put that off, and let me make sure this is covered up. Okay. Because I want this flower to be right there. Make sure that the end of the flower is still on the edge of the tile. That way it doesn't look like the flower is not complete. And just give it good pressure. Take it up. And now you have your flower that looks like one behind. One is in front or one is behind the other one. I'm not going to do the little one. I'm just going to leave them both big. Yeah, let's leave them both big. Okay, so the trick, you can certainly, I'm going to bring this up a little bit closer, you can certainly leave these little bitty pieces that you see the natural part of the tile, how it didn't stamp in those little bitty spots. But if you have one that's just really, really bugging you, you can fill those in using our blends. And I would suggest using the writing side, so the real small side. If you use the big side and you try to do it in a little bitty spot, it'll bleed out. And I'll show you, because this is what happened on this one right here. I tried to fill in a little bitty spot right there, and you can see it bled out a little bit. But if I had used the writing one, it wouldn't have done that. But all you do is just take the writing tip, and let me see if I can see this under the light. Say I want to do that one right there. Just dab it. Just give it little dabs. Nothing heavy, just little bitty dabs. And then you can see all those little spots kind of disappear. So that's only if you have a little area that's just really bothering you and you're like, those need to be filled in. Just dab it. That's all you need. Okay, but I'm going to leave it like that because I don't want to mess it up. This one is actually going to be the prize that'll be given away next week. Okay. All right. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, we're going to be using our watercolor pencils. And we do have two different sets of watercolor pencils depending on what colors you want. And this is a really old set, but I mean, literally I've had this set for probably over 10 years, definitely. But I'm going to be using Calypso Coral and Early Espresso out of this one. But like I said, we do have another set. So between the watercolor pencils and I still have my old blends too, but we do still sell blender pens. We're going to use that in order to color the tile. For me, it just makes it easy. So let me go ahead and, like I said, this is using Calypso Coral, but this helps give me a better, I don't know, for me it helps give me a better grip on what I'm actually doing. And I know it might seem light, but after you color something with one of our watercolor pencils, you go back over it. You can certainly leave it, you know, pencil, if you want that, if you like that pencil look, you can certainly leave it that way. But the blending pencil will literally blend the color and make it look like it's a marker. But I think this way you seem to have a little bit more control over what you're doing. So I'm just trying to color all of these little petals, and then I'll go back over it. If you want it darker, definitely go back and fill in the areas and give it some pressure. So make sure you fill in all the areas. Just trying to focus on this. You can definitely use more than one color if you wanted to. Get the edges. Ooh, that makes my hand hurt because I'm pressing hard. I want to make sure I get this tile really, really nice and colored. Has anybody, I guess my question would be, has anybody ever stamped on tile, and did you know that you could stamp on tile? I can't remember the first time I stamped on it, but if I had to guess, it was definitely about 18 or 19 years ago when I first stamped on tile. And I want to say it was in one of Jennifer's classes too. It was probably a monthly class. Okay. I think that's good. You can definitely go over it a little darker if you wanted to, but and let me add some color into the center. It's not really a hole. Oh, that one broke. Uh-oh. Let me see if I can sharpen that real quick. This one has a hole in it because of the tile, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how you can fill that in too if you're worried about that as well. So I'm just using Early Espresso just to give the middle just a little color. Nothing crazy. You can certainly make this a yellow color. Or... Okay, I'm just trying to do that the best I can because of that hole that's right there. Okay. Okay, and then now we're going to take our blender pens, and these pens, they are dual-sided, and it comes in 3, and you've got, they're both paintbrush tips, and you can use either one of them. When you do them, you can certainly use one side for lighter colors and one side for darker colors, but I have this little scrap piece of paper here because after you've colored it, it will discolor the edges. And I'm going to get down a little closer here. All you're doing is literally wherever you just used your pencil, you just go over it, and the product that's inside of here that makes it wet, I'm not exactly sure what it is, will literally kind of blur the coloring that you just did and turn it into what looks like an ink. It wets it, so right now it is wet. And then you just go over it, and it's blending all that color into the tile. If you go outside the lines, if you have ink at the tip, it will get it outside. So you do have to be careful around the edge of the stamp. And let me see, I'm going to bring it up a little bit closer. So I know you can see the difference between where I've used the blender pen and I've just used the pencil. Be real careful. I'm doing this standing up and trying to hold this. There we go. Let me get the edge first. Now if you'll notice, the colors are not bleeding together. That's why it's important to use your stays on. If you use Memento, you're going to be in for a big surprise once you get going and it just becomes a real big hot mess. Okay, so get towards the center, and then if you don't want to blend your Calypso coral color, or if you have a lighter color and you know that you're going to have a darker color, if you don't want to blend those, so you can get right in there and it helps fill in areas that I didn't even color. Once I get up to the edge of the line there, fill those in. Then what you do is you just take the end and do that and clean it off, and then it'll eventually it'll wipe clear. That's all you do. So as long as you do that, the next time I go use it, if I wanted to use it on the center, it's not going to take the color of the other one. And I'm just going to go over the center, and that'll darken that up. Okay, and then we're going to fill that in. We're going to fill that in right there. So let me clean that. So you see that ink coming off, and then the more you keep rubbing it, the more it comes clear. And then just make sure that you close your cap. And then I'm actually done with stamping, so let me cover the stays on so that doesn't dry out. Okay. Okay. Which one am I going to use? Let me use, I didn't plan on filling it in because I didn't know where it was going to not show, but let's use the bronze just because it's dark. And I'm going to get in there and just dab. You know what, because it's so thick, I'll probably use this other side just to help fill in. I'm not trying to make it completely perfect, but I want to get that deep little crater, kind of give it some color. And it's not perfect, but it at least fills that in. Okay, now I've done all the stamping. I do need to put the little heart charms on, and I'm trying to decide as I'm talking if I want to go ahead and seal it up, because with this one that I did, I don't know if you can see, let's see, oh maybe you can if I turn it sideways like that, but do you see that shine? I sealed it up, and I sealed it up using Minwax polyurethane clear satin. I used a clear satin. Okay, and let me go ahead and put those on while I'm still thinking about how I want to seal that up. And when you seal it up, that really does help so that your colors don't wash off. But I'm going to use the fine tip glue. And let me get some glue on the back of these. I'm just putting little dots of glue, and then I need to cover this up. Okay, so let me get this back on here, because y'all know this thing will dry up real quickly. There we go. Okay, and then let me pick these up. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now I have the 2 heart charms, and just give it a little pressure. It's going to take a few moments for that glue to dry. Okay, so just hold on that and let's let that sit for just a minute. I'm just going to get my my heat gun out, my little heat tool, because I want to speed it up when I go to spray it. Okay, so I'm just getting that plugged in. And I think I'm going to go ahead and spray it, but this might get messy, so hold on. Let me put something down to help kind of... I don't know if y'all can tell me, but for some reason my screen looks jerky. I'm just shaking the polyurethane up. But does my screen look jerky? Or is that just me? I can't tell. Let's see. I'm looking at some questions here. Is there a reason you didn't emboss the stamp? Would it stay? I've never embossed on tile, Cindy. And the work mats in the catalog. Are you talking about the work mats? Are you talking about this grid paper? Because the grid paper that I'm using today is for demonstrators. We have regular grid paper in our catalog. Thank you, Stella. Well, Darla says it's jerky. Okay, well, let me do this. Let me just keep going. And I am just literally spraying the top, the bottom, just to seal that up. Whew. That could get a little dangerous. And I'm going to use the heat tool, but I'm not going to use it too close, just to help speed this up. I turned on my ceiling fan too, because whoa. This is something, this part right here that I'm doing, you guys, definitely you want to do either in the garage or outside. And I'm just using the heat tool to help speed up the drying process right now. Ooh, I feel that cool air behind me. I normally don't have my my ceiling fan on, because then my hair's like flying all over the place and in my face. But if you want just a really nice sheen, I'm gonna keep doing this and hopefully you guys can hear me, but definitely if you want just a nice sheen and you want to be able to seal it up a little bit, definitely use the clear satin, and this is just Minwax, and this will help seal it up. And I don't know if you noticed when I did that, but it kind of got a little darker because the tile gets wet. When it's in a natural form, it's obviously, you know, a lighter color, but once you apply that sealant to it, it'll darken it. It's getting dry. And at the same time, those little heart charms, they're sticking to that tile as that glue dries. And then when you seal it, just make sure that you get, you know, the sides. You can certainly do the back if you wanted to do the back, but you can do the back last. It's almost dry, but whoa, the fumes from this, and that was just a little bit. So last night I did it outside in the garage, but right here, I wanted still to be able to show you how to seal this thing up. But man, whew, glad I turned on a ceiling fan. I think it's almost done. You could almost touch it. It's almost pretty dry. Okay. That one's still drying right there. But no, I've never embossed on tile. I guess I could try. I've just always stamped when I've done it. Okay, I think that's good. Let's put that off to the side. So there you go. And now you can see it's got that little bit of a shine to it. The tile's warm too. It feels good on my cold hands. So now let's finish it off. So let me take this away. Okay, and now let's dress it up. I took one of the dies from the, let's see, from the Forever Flourishing dies, and I die cut it using Mossy Meadow. I did it last night using Old Olive, and I just wasn't happy with the color, so I went ahead and just took Mossy Meadow, and we're just going to be using some clippings off of here. We're not going to put the whole thing on, but you do need to do a little cutting to get your little individual pieces of greenery. Snip any excesses there. Let's see. Let's do this one too. I think last night I didn't use the whole. I think I only used, I think I still had like one left. Okay, and then we're just going to attach it with glue dots. Let me take this one off to that one. Okay, where's my glue dots? Here we go. Got some glue dots, and let's just start building this. We're going to put glue dots on the back, and I had to do something really creative with my glue dots that were on backwards, and I'll show you. I found out that glue dots seem to like are being produced, quote unquote, on backwards. So I had to leave them in my box, and then I put some of this piece of this tape that the glue dots actually stick on. I put it on the side. I put it underneath, and then I put some on the top, and then just pulled my glue dots out this way so that my glue dots would just come out this way, and I had a little bit more control over them. So that was my way to fix that so that it would be a little easier for me to use. So now I have this one, and I'm just going to put this one right here. And then you can just start building this however you want to put your greenery. Okay, let's put one over here. We're going to put ribbon on the bottom of this, so it'll help cover up any areas that need to get covered up. Make sure I use enough glue dots so it sticks. The glue dots stick really well to the polyurethane that's on there, so you don't have to worry about them falling off. They will come off if you really rip them off, but for the most part they'll stay on there. Okay, and you can definitely use more than one glue dot if you wanted to. Okay. So just help. Let's see, where else? Like a smaller one or a bigger one? Let's use that one. I hope you guys are enjoying this project. I just wanted to show you something different than a card or another project. So just build this up, build up your little greenery there, and you can certainly do something with this last one if you wanted to. Yeah, let's go ahead and put him down. We'll use the whole die cut. That way there's no waste. Okay, and then I'm gonna trim. No, I'm good. I'm good. Never mind. Okay. Now the ribbon that I used was from the Ornate Garden ribbon pack, and it's Calypso Coral because it coordinates with our color there. And all I did was make sure it's flat and then just bring that over. I put mine at the bottom, but you could definitely put it wherever you want to put it. And then just make sure that you pull enough off to the side so that you have plenty to tie your bow. But you do want to make sure it's flat along the bottom. And then if you don't have a pair of reverse tweezers, I would recommend getting a pair. Stampin' Up! Does not sell reverse tweezers, unfortunately, so but these come in real handy when it comes to tying bows. And I am almost done with this roll here, so woo, that was cutting it close. So let's make a bow. Wherever you want your bow to be, that's where you can do your little, pull your little T right there. Pull it tight. And then put your reverse tweezers. Let me see if I can do this here with both hands. Just pull it tight. And then put your reverse tweezers in the center there to help hold that. And let me go ahead and pull this off so that that reel is not dangling anywhere. And then make your bow however big you want your bow to be, just adjust your loops. Pull it tight, and then you can pull your reverse tweezers out. And then just trim your ribbon. And then after you have it on there, of course you can just, trim your ribbon a little more. Just pull the little edges. That was kind of twisted there. Let's get that fixed. See if we can fix that. Well, it might just stay twisted that way, but if you're a professional bow person, then you can make that work really, really pretty. So just adjust it however you want, however big you want your loops to be. And then you can always go back and trim the excess off in line with the edge of your tile. And then there you have it. There you have it. And then let me show you, I don't know if you can see this. Let me move some of this stuff off to the side so I can actually put it on. I usually get these little holders. This one's a little black one. This one is 3.5 inches tall by about 2 inches wide. But I usually get these if I'm going to display. This is something that you can display on a shelf somewhere. So let me set it up right here. I'm going to move the camera. so that you can see it and how it sits up on. So let me move the camera a little bit. There you go. So you see how it'll just sit on there. Let's see if I can bring it up. There we go. There we go. So there you have it. They would make great gifts, Jackie, for sure. And of course you can decorate it however. You guys know we have like a bajillion stamps in our catalog and 50 colors to work with. But you do want to make sure, this is the important part, make sure that you use Stays On. Don't use Memento, or else this right here will end up looking like this. Just a hot mess. But the last thing I want to show you, let me set that off to the side right there. Let me bring the camera, actually let me bring the camera back. Let me put that right there off to the side. The last thing, the absolute last thing I want to show you is in order to clean your stamps, because right now that is pretty sticky. And my chamois not wet, but I have a baby wipe here. You can certainly, look at that. I am pressing on this baby wipe and nothing is coming off. Almost nothing is coming off. There is a reason why. That stuff is really sticky. You have to clean that with Stays On, your all-purpose Stays On cleaner. And I'm going to show you how you can use that. So let me grab, I'm going to grab my dry chamois and my wet baby wipe just so that you can see what I'm talking about there. But in order to clean it, this little cap just screws off. And this is a lemon scented cleaner, and this one's actually pretty old. The packaging doesn't look like that now, but what you do is you take, it's got a little bitty scrubby tip to it, and when you turn it upside down and give it just a little squeeze, you're gonna go over your entire stamp and you can see it coming off. Now of course it's wet and you might have to go over it a second time, and then after that you can, you know, take it to your chamois or take it to your baby wipe, and then you'll see it's clear. And then if you need to, you can go back over it again, but definitely scrub it really clean because you don't want any of that Stays On to get mixed up with any of your inks the next time you go use it. And you see some more just came off. So your stamp, you know, it may look a little discolored after that, but it doesn't affect how the stamp gets used. So now that's a clean stamp. So you want to make sure that you clean all the other ones that you used. Now, if you want to clean the tip of your Stays On cleaner, then all I do is, let me double that up. I just dab it, and you can see that ink coming off. And I just dab it until it doesn't have any more ink come off of it, and it just helps keep it clean. So that's how you get your Stays On off of your stamps, and then it'll make them smell lemon scented too. So there you go. So that's how you use Stays On, and that's how you clean them. And then that, you guys, is how you can stamp using travertine tile. And this is a 4x4. They definitely have them in other sizes, longer. I think there's a 2x6, I think, size. There's a 6x6 size. So yeah, I have a feeling that a lot of guys looking for travertine tiles at Home Depot or Lowe's are going to be like, where did all our tiles go? And that's going to be because a lot of stampers are going to be buying their tiles, use their stuff. So, but that's just another way that you can repurpose. If you have an extra tile or something laying around the house, or you want to do something, a nice little gift for somebody. And this one's just Valentine's. So make sure you like, comment, and share, and then you'll be entered into a drawing next week to win this particular tile. So thank you guys for watching me this Sunday afternoon, and don't forget, if you are interested in layouts, you can join me Wednesday night here at 7 p.m. Otherwise, I'll see you next Sunday at 3 p.m. All right. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.